What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the Mists of Pandaria Remix event. Now, I've been talking about this in the past. I think this event is really good for leveling alt, which is a good thing to do in preparation for the upcoming expansion, The War Within. Based on that, I have hinted towards how I'm leveling my alt, which is by using a level 20 boosting character. In this video, I want to talk you guys through exactly what I'm doing to set up this character, and right now is a really good time to do this by yourself, because you have something called Time Runner's Mastery. At the time of recording this video, this came into the game yesterday, so it's been here for 1 day, and you also have 67 more days of the Pandaria Remix event happening. Now, I do have a couple of videos planned before this one goes live, so when this one goes live, it's probably going to be 65 days left, but believe me, that is more than enough time to set up a level 20 character and level up 10s and 20 and 30 alts, however many you need, because leveling is so fast. Now, before I talk about how to set up the boosting character, I want to show you an example of how good this actually is. So over here, this is me running a heroic dungeon in the Mists of Pandaria Remix event with nothing, there's no editing being done here, this is just me doing the event, and while doing a dungeon, there's no speed ups or anything, and doing one dungeon takes you between 1 and 3 minutes, depending on the dungeon. This one took about 1 minute and 30 seconds, or 1 minute and 40 seconds, and you can see we're absolutely one-shotting everything. Looking at the DPS meters in the bottom right as well, you can see my damage done, and all I'm doing throughout the entire dungeon is basically spamming Holy Nova. Every now and then on bosses I can use Holy Fire, especially when you spec into it, to have instant cast Holy Fires to pull the boss from afar. That way you can close the gap between you and the boss. Like here I am hard casting it as well, just to close the gap, and then one-shotting the boss with the Holy Nova. And then we just go into the main boss room, do the same thing, and once again we're one-shotting just about everything, even bosses. So doing this is super good, first of all, because Heroic Dungeons is a really good way to level your alt, so you can invite yourself from your boosting character, and then you can boost yourself. It's also a really good way to gear yourself up at max level. It's a really good way to do your dailies, because if you've been doing heroic scenarios, for example, on a fresh dinged level 80 character, a level 70 character, a freshly deemed level 70, it's a little bit difficult due to scaling, but when you have a level 20 carrying you like this, you're one-shotting everything in heroic dungeons, normal scenarios, heroic scenarios, so you can bang out those dailies super fast on your level 70 character for bronze and for the spools. So that is an example of how good these twinks are, and they're useful for more than just leveling. Once again, you can bang out your dailies in about 10 to 15 minutes on your main character. So on a level 70 character, for example, when you're level 70 and you haven't upgraded your gear, doing heroic dungeons and even heroic scenarios can be difficult due to how scaling works. But on a level 20 twink character, boosting character, you can see my stats. We have 115% crit, 90% haste, 96% mastery, 126% versatility, 29% leech, and then speed is capped at 49%. Now, let's talk about how to get here. Now, I have 6,800 threads on my cloak. Keep in mind, I did all of this before this event was active. I have spent about 8 days on this character. Now, that is just 8 days of doing dailies, by the way, so it's like 1 hour per day of doing stuff, and then that's it, because you want to focus on your dailies. So you can do what I've done in 8 days, you can do in 2.5 days. So you'll be able to get a level 20 character like this set up really fast. And the thing is, many of the things you're doing to increase our cloak is done on a daily basis or a once per character basis. So let's talk about the daily stuff first. This is something you want to do every single day on your level 20 character to increase your cloak power. So we're going to talk about cloak first, then gems, then gear as well. For the cloak, this is the main thing you want to focus on anyway. So for the dailies, case, you want to do your daily heroic dungeon, which I just did, which I recorded as well for you guys. This gives you a bronze cache, which is now 500 bronze due to the increase from here. It used to be 250, it is now double. Now you also get a minor spool of eternal thread. This one used to give you 20 stats, now it gives you 60. This is where you can catch up really fast and get a twink character set up for yourself really fast, because once again, threads from spools, or from the spools of eternal thread, is increased by 200%. Now you also get this from doing a daily normal dungeon, so you want to do a heroic dungeon, then a normal dungeon. After that you want to go into scenarios and do the same thing, a normal scenario, and then you want to do a heroic scenario as well. So all of these together, you will get 60 stats times 4, that is 240 stats every single day on your cloak, only from doing this. Now after that you also want to do world bosses. So for world bosses, there's only a couple of them that I personally focus on. I do Shaw of Anger, then I fly down and I do this one right here, Galleon, or Salius's Warband, or Galleon as I call him, and then I go to Timeless Isle and I do the Celestials. Those are the 3 that I personally do. That's going to be another 180 threads every single day with the Time Runner's Mastery. So once again, that is 16 times 3, 180. Now you have 240 plus 180, so you're over 400 threads every single day just from doing your dailies. Now let's talk about things you can do once on your boosting characters. This is like once in a lifetime kind of thing, to give you some cloak threads as well. So this is really good to do on day 1 to give yourself a really nice boost on the cloak from the start. Once again, this will also give you the spools of threads, which will give you 3 times the reward that it gave me. So this is way better for anyone who starts late. But what you want to do here is focus on achievements. And I get it, this might sound weird, but the achievements, the ones that gives you lesser bronze cache, they also give you a spool of thread. In this case, there's a couple of them you want to focus on, mainly the hidden treasures, elusive foes, and powerful enemies. So if you go over here, you have hidden treasures for Jade Forest, Crasserang Wilds, and the Valley of the Four Winds. Now, you don't have to loot all of them. As you can see, for Jade Forest, you only have to do 2. So I went for the Ancient Pandaren Teapot and the Pandaren Ritual Stones. And if you have a couple of add-ons, then you can see where they spawn on the map. So like I have an add-on that tells me where things is. It's TomTom plus one of the hidden treasures map, but you can get all of them basically up here, where I'm pointing on the map right now. All of the treasures are around this place. Then you can get the ones for Jade Forest. For the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, not Vale, but Valley of the Four Winds, I went for the, if I go back here, we have Crown Valley, I went for the Vermin Treasure Cache. Now for the Vermin Treasure Cache, you can go to the Valley of the Four Winds, and if you look pretty much exactly where I'm pointing now, there's going to be a cave, a vermin cave. It is quite hidden, but it's like along this coast somewhere, and you want to go inside that cave and you will find the cache. Super easy. For the Crasserang Wilds, you loot the Soric Stone Tablet. This one is also super easy. You go to Crasserang Wilds, and there's going to be a cave right here. Go inside that cave and you will find the tablet quite far into the cave. So the thing is, when you loot these, you get a lesser bronze cache, but you also get not the green spool, but the blue spool, so the rare spool of Eternal Thread. I believe this gave me 50 stats. Someone might be able to correct me if it's 50 or 60, but I do think it's 50, in which case that's going to give you 150 now for each of them, and doing all 3 here takes you about 5 minutes, so that is another 450 spools or threads, 450 threads to your cloak in 5 minutes. After that you have the elusive foes and powerful enemies, which is basically rares, so you want to hunt down the rares in as many zones as you personally can, because that also gives you a lesser bronze cache, and once again a blue spool, and the blue spool should be 150 threads now with the mastery in effect, giving you triple the amount that you're supposed to get. So once again, 150 for each achievement that you do over here as well. So hunt down rares. This one is a little bit more difficult because rares are on a respawn timer and it's very RNG. What I usually do here is I fly to a rare. First of all, I take a fly around the map and see if any of the rares are up, and if they're not, then I actually start camping. I just camp a rare until he spawns. That seems to be the best way to do it, because otherwise it's all RNG, and the rares, they pretty much die the second they spawn, so you have to be really lucky, unless you camp. Now, going back to world bosses as well, the first time you ever do a world boss, you also get additional spools, so go and do all the world bosses once, even Ordos in the Timeless Isles, and even Undasta in the Isle of Giants. Just do all world bosses once, because that also gives you an achievement for the world bosses. It gives you an achievement for the world bosses, so do that as well. Now, if you want to take this even further, make your twink even stronger, you can go for all the achievements. So you have Tour the Jade Forest, for example. Once you've done the hidden treasures and the elusive foes, you can then go to explore real quick, get the exploration part done as well, and then you will get another achievement, which gives you a bronze cache, not a minor one or a lesser one, but a regular bronze cache. So all of these achievements are worth doing, and they sometimes, most of them gives you a spool. Now, I can't talk about the ones that I haven't done, because I'm still working on those. But yeah, try to do those, and you can get some more spools from those as well. So on a daily basis, you want to do your heroic dungeons, normal dungeons, you want to do your scenarios, both heroic and normal, and when it comes to once per character, you just want to focus on doing achievements, whatever achievements you personally want to do. And now that spools are tripled, you get triple the amount of threads from spools, they're even more worth doing now than they were in the past. So if you're looking to make your twink even stronger, that's definitely the way to go. But for me, with 6,800 threads, or almost 6.9 now, I mean, you saw yourself from the dungeon, I'm one-shotting absolutely everything, and we're speeding through it in less than 2 minutes. So for me, it's not really that worth it to make this character that much stronger. It's already at the peak, basically. So you can reach peak character, peak level 20 boosting in probably 3 days, 2 or 3 days, especially like if you do achievements, maybe 1 a day as well with the achievements. So yeah, there we go. It's a really good way to set yourself up. Now, talking about things that are not about the cloak, I want to talk about priests specifically. The reason why priests are really good here is that you have something called a Searing Light. This is a gem that makes it so 10% of your healing is collected on allies as Searing Light, and after 3 seconds, Searing Light is consumed to heal your ally and inflict holy damage to all enemies within 12 yards. Now, going to my personal DPS meters, Holy Nova was 70% of my DPS, but Searing Light was 20%. So one gem does 20% of your DPS, and sometimes can do even more as well. It just depends on your character and who you have following. So the reason why I was following myself on a level 70 character, for example, is that my healing is scaled based on the health of this level 70 character. So I'm doing a lot of healing, which means my Searing Light also hits for way more. Now, you also have a head gem called Ward of Salvation, which basically creates an absorb shield on your healing character, absorbing heals, and then dealing explode damage afterwards. So if you are not one-shotting everything, these 2 gems can really help you. They're not needed by any means once you get to the amount of threads that I have, but they're really good to have, so focus on those. Now, also Wildfire is super good to have in my experience, and Sunstrider's Flourish. Apart from that, one final advice that I want to give you is never gem speed onto pretty much anything once you have 49%, because 49% is the cap. Now, at the start, you might want to gem speed because you are going to be lacking in gems anyway. So at the start, feel free to gem speed, but once you get to 49%, swap out your speed gems with pretty much anything else. Any other stats that are useful to your character, just swap it out, because 49% is the cap. Now, as for making your boosting character, this is all based on making a starting trial account, so you can't level past past level 20. This is something everyone can do. It's free, so all you have to do is go to Battle.net, make a starter account, and there we go. You literally click set up a starter account in your Battle.net, and then you can play on 2 clients at the same time. So you have one free client and you have your main client as well. So Moonheim, for example, this is my main account, and this right here is my starter account, trial account, free to play account. And the thing is, this is not a time limited account. This is free to play up to level 20 for as long as you want, so you can boost your characters for the entirety of the Mr. Pandaria remix event. And doing those heroic dungeons in 1 minute and 30 seconds, you can level up to level 70 in less than 2 hours, which is pretty fast, by the way. Now, one final thing that I want to talk about specifically for priests, but I do also want to say that you can be a boosting character on a lot more classes than just a priest. I have seen a boomkin, I've seen a monk, I've seen a guardian druid DPS, so I've seen a lot of different things be a boosting character. You don't have to be a priest, but I'm only playing a priest, so I can only speak from the priest perspective. For talents, this is like what my talent points look like. The main important thing here is that you have Holy Nova and Rhapsody. These 2 are the main important things, and then you also want to have Holy Word Chastise into Holy. This makes it so your next 2 Holy Fires are instant, which is really good for closing the gap between you and the boss. It is all min-maxing though, so once again the important parts are Holy Nova and Rhapsody. And then you can min-max by choosing other talents as well. Either way, once again, that is pretty much what I have for you. So if you're looking to set up a boosting character in the Mr. Pandaria remix event, which I do recommend, by the way, once again, it's free and everyone can do it. And it's a really easy way to level up alts or do dailies on your main. Either way, hopefully this video made the whole process a little bit simpler for you and explained what I'm doing personally in detail. Either way, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Let me know your Mr. Pandaria remix experiences in the comments as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.